Hello and welcome everybody. This is Gogs Gaming, and with Nintendo's recent announcement in its Nintendo Direct of Twilight Princess HD, I thought it'd be good to just do a little video with some of my thoughts on that upcoming title. And the way I approach it is I wanted to take a look at Nintendo's prior three remakes, Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask 3D, and Windwaker HD. And kind of looking at it from two perspectives. One, the graphics perspective, and two, the substantive perspective, what type of actual changes were made. And graphically speaking, I think, pretty universally held belief that both Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask were just beautiful. I mean, they were just gorgeous. For the remaster, just everything was smoother, especially in Ocarina, or in Majora's Mask. The graphics were so much more vibrant and lively. Now, of course, some argued that that took away from the murky, dark experience of the game, but I think overall that was a plus, just because it just made the game so much more enjoyable. And then, of course, Wind Waker's graphics were just absolutely gorgeous, timeless, really. And the new lighting effect, it was just very well done. So I think from the graphical standpoint, I know a lot of folks have been a little bit more, hesitant to, sing hooray on the graphics, with respect to the graphics, but I think, Nintendo usually does a pretty good job. And keep in mind also that the very first time Nintendo introduced Majora's Mask 3D, I remember it was November of 2014, and then also same with Wind Waker. The very first time, the graphics didn't seem all that well, but once once we get a little bit more, I'm fairly optimistic. I think the graphics are gonna pan out very nicely. As far as the substantive look, as far as what kind of substantive changes Twilight Princess will have, again, looking at what type of substantive changes the other three titles had, with Ocarina, there really wasn't a whole lot substantively. I mean, they added the Master Quest, but Ocarina was more or less just kind of a 3D overhaul in terms of graphics. And then if you look at Wind Waker, they had a couple of items. They kind of shortened that lengthy Triforce quest towards the end, which kind of felt like a chore. And also they introduced a swift sail, which made things a lot faster to sail. And then with Majora's Mask, that had, I think, the most substantive changes. For example, you had the Bomber's Notebook, which kind of did a much better job of keeping track of everything. Although, on some occasions, I felt that it gave too much hint. It didn't let the player try to figure things out by him or herself. But overall, it was a very nice overhaul. And then they also, of course, did the entire saving mechanism, which I really, really enjoyed, just because in this day and age, some people don't have 2-3 hours where they can just sit and play. You got maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and the prior game, the original game, was just so difficult when it came to saving. It was a headache, whereas this one, they really overhauled that, made it easy. And of course, they did some other changes with respect to the mechanics, dealing with the Zora Link and Goron Link. But overall, Majora's Mask, I felt Nintendo was responsive to the folks and made some, good intention changes. As for Twilight Princess, a couple of thoughts I had. One, I know a lot of people have been complaining about the slow start of the game. I actually liked the slow start, and here's why. Yeah, they could probably, do away with the kind of the basic tutorials and stuff, but I kind of like the whole, idea of, doing the little fishing, doing the little fetch with the cradle and the baby, doing the herding of the goats. All of that, I think, played into showing how peaceful Ordon was, and then that was in great contrast to what was about to come up, you know, with the whole Twilight realm and, you know, Wolf Link. So I thought that was actually a good job that Nintendo did, and I hope they actually keep it. You know, like I said, I think it's really shows you, you know, the peace side, how peaceful it was, and then all of a sudden, you know, it turned crazy with the Twilight realm. The other thing, you know, I was gonna mention was on the wolf. The first three, you know, the little wolf exercises where you're collecting the tears to open up the corresponding area in the regular world, not the Twilight world. You know, I just thought those were too much of a chore. You know, it just felt so agonizing. Just you just wanted to get done with it so you could go to the next section. So I think Nintendo could do some, you know, editing, you know, some revising of that aspect. Some kind of modification I think could help. And then thirdly, I'm hopeful that Nintendo will do something with the really open world where there's not a whole lot to do. I mean, granted, there was still, you know, stuff that you could do, but man, if they could really add some side quests, kind of not material to the main story, but just, you know, a little side quest here and there, and maybe add a few more little puzzles and whatnot. That'd be great. And then finally, you know, hopefully they can fix that rupee problem where, you know, you do a nice discovery and they give you a little rupee, you know. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Please let me know in the comments, and please subscribe to my channel, Gogs Gaming, and like and favorite and share. Thank you very much.